Hello and welcome to Navigating Chronic Illness with Heart and Hope, a space where we hold what it means to live with chronic illness, grief, and ongoing life transitions. I'm Valerie Alawiye, and I'm so grateful to have you here today. Today, I want to talk about something that many of us deeply long for and also deeply struggle with when we are sick, and that is community. Illness, especially when it's chronic, can be incredibly isolating. Friends drift away, routines change, and often people just don't know how to show up, or we don't know how to ask. Please remember something important. You are not alone, even when it feels like it, even when the silence feels heavy. There are ways to build and reimagine connection because your life is worthy of community. Before we talk about building or rebuilding community, it's important to pause and name the grief that often comes with chronic illness. The changes illness brings are not only physical or emotional, they often ripple through every layer of our relationships. Friendships, community ties, and even casual connections can be impacted in ways that feel unexpected and yet deeply painful. When illness affects our ability to keep up with social invitations, volunteer opportunities, professional networking, or even family gatherings, it can feel like we're slowly disappearing from circles that once gave us joy and belonging. Friendships can become strained when people don't understand your limitations or assume you're choosing isolation, when in reality, you're navigating fatigue, pain, or unpredictable symptoms. Some relationships fade away completely, and that hurts. There could also be grief when you see life moving forward for others, whether it's career milestones, adventures, or social activities, while you are on the sidelines because your body requires a different pace. It's not about jealousy, but it's about the deep ache of being left out of something you once shared with others. Acknowledging the grief that comes with navigating and living with chronic illness gives us permission to feel it without shame. And naming the relationships we grieve is important because each layer carries its own kind of loss. Too often people try to push past the emotional weight of these losses without giving themselves permission to feel them. But grief acknowledged becomes grief that can heal. Unfortunately, friendships often feel the first wave of change. When fatigue or pain limits how often you can reach out, accept invitations, or show up the way you once did, it becomes harder to keep up with regular calls, visits, or outings, and friendships can shift. At first, you may promise yourself it's only temporary. You tell your friends you'll meet up soon, call next week, or come to the next gathering. But then symptoms flare, medical appointments fill your calendar, or your energy simply runs out. Over time, some friends may not fully understand why you keep canceling plans or why you sometimes seem absent, even though you care deeply. A few may drift away, not out of unkindness, but because they don't know how to stay connected when things look different than before. Some may assume distance means disinterest, when in truth, it's about survival and energy. Friendships that once felt effortless may fade, not because love or care is missing, but because the rhythm of connection has changed. That loss hurts because friendships bring joy, laughter, and emotional grounding. They are the people you text with small victories or cry to after hard days. When illness reshapes those connections, it can feel like losing a part of your identity as well as your support system. Community often reaches beyond individual friendships. It might be your professional network, your place of worship or faith groups, a book club or a volunteer group, or even the neighbors you once chatted with at the mailbox. When illness changes your ability to attend meetings, join events, or contribute as you once did, you may slowly feel yourself standing on the edges. Invitations may come less often because people assume you can't attend or participate. Group decisions or celebrations may happen without you because the group has gotten used to your absence. This can bring a deep sense of isolation and disconnection. Community offers belonging, shared experiences, and a sense of purpose and identity. When access to that fades or is lost or reduced, the grief can be profound because it's not only loneliness that shows up. It can also feel like losing a part of your voice, your role, or your place in the world. Then there are the connections that don't fit neatly into either friendship or community. The smaller everyday connections that fill life with warmth and routine. Coworkers you laughed with in the hallway. Parents you chatted with at school drop-off. The barista who knew your order, or the gym instructor who waved when you walked in. These interactions may not have been particularly close or deeply personal, but they created a sense of familiarity and belonging and added warmth to your daily life. When illness keeps you home more often or changes your routines, these small but meaningful connections can fade or quietly slip away. At first, you may not even notice, but one day you realize that your world feels smaller, not only because of your physical limitations, but because so many small moments of human connection have disappeared. It's an invisible grief, the kind that sneaks up on you. It's the quiet loss of feeling known in the simple spaces of life, as over time, the absence of these touch points can create an unexpected loneliness. People rarely talk about it and may not fully be aware of it. Yet losing those casual relationships can leave life feeling emptier and more isolated than expected. When we recognize and give ourselves permission to grieve what has changed, we open the door to new ways of connecting, ways that fit the life we have now, and communities that honor where we are now, even if they look very different from the life that we had before illness. Just because your circle has changed doesn't mean that your story is over. You can build a new community. You can reimagine support in ways that meet where you are now, not where you used to be. So, what does meaningful support look like when you're navigating life with chronic illness? It looks like someone who respects your energy limits without questioning them. It looks like a friend who doesn't take it personally when you cancel again. It looks like someone checking in just to say, I know today might be hard, and I'm thinking of you. Support is not about grand gestures. It's about consistency, empathy, and presence. Sometimes your most powerful community isn't made of old friendships, but of people you meet along the way. Others who live with illness, or people you connect with in an online group, a book club, a faith circle, or even a podcast comment section. Let's let go of the idea that your support system has to be big to be effective. You don't need dozens of friends. You just need a few safe people who make you feel seen. Now let's talk about how to begin building or rebuilding that sense of community. It might start with a shift in mindset. Instead of waiting for connection to magically appear, consider where and how you can open a small window. Here are a few practical starting points. Join a targeted support group. Look for condition-specific groups on social media or chronic illness forums. These are people who already relate to your situation, the situation of physical, emotional, and medical fatigue, uncertainty, or flare-ups. Create or join small support circles. Another option is, instead of relying only on large online forums or social media groups, intentionally seek out or form small, focused support circles. These could be local meetups, virtual gatherings, or even text-based groups where members share experiences, wins, and struggles in a safe and consistent space. A smaller group often leads to deeper connections and trust. Reach out. Start small and honest. Reach out to one person with a genuine message. I have been feeling disconnected lately, and I would love to catch up if you're open to it. Vulnerability can be a bridge, not a burden. Offer as you receive. You have something to give too, whether it's a listening ear, a word of encouragement, or a moment of humor. Your presence is powerful, even if your capacity is limited. Create micro rituals of connection. Maybe it's a weekly text check-in with a friend, or sending a voice memo to a cousin. Little rituals help keep relationships alive without draining you. Engage in shared creative or learning projects. Building a community around shared interests like reading groups, art projects, or skill sharing sessions can provide connection beyond illness-related discussions. For example, hosting a monthly online craft night or a book club for people with similar health experiences offers a way to connect on multiple levels as individuals, learners, and creators. Please remember, you are not meant to carry all of this alone. Even if you've been hurt before, even if you don't feel like you belong anymore, the truth is you still do and you always did. You are lovable and you are not a burden. And there are people out there who are looking for someone just like you to connect with. Someone honest, someone wise, and someone who understands. Let this be the beginning of a new chapter. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're looking for support or want to connect with others on this journey, you are welcome in this space, always. Want to learn more? Subscribe to my newsletter for ongoing reflections, free tools, and notification of new episodes of Navigating Chronic Illness with Heart and Hope with Valerie Alawiye, my video series on grief, illness, and gentle healing. Or visit us on our website at coachingforchronicillness.com to explore options to receive more support.